Hey, what's going on, man? Hola, amigo, ¿cómo estás? Guten Tag, wie geht's dir? So you want to learn about how do you unlock the higher tier tanks as quickly as possible? How do you progress down these tech trees in World of Tanks? How do you get a tier 6 tank? How do you get a tier 7, 8, 9, so on and so forth? Now, the advice that I'm going to give you is applicable regardless if you're a free player like myself or if you pay to play the game. And I mean that not only by paying for premium account time, but for buying gold and unlocking different tanks and so on and so forth. Now, if you are a free player, though, the only difference, but the advice I'm going to give you is you just have to be a little bit more frugal than you would be if you were a premium player. So with that being said, let's begin with the German line, since I've been playing this since August 2012, and the German line is the one that I played the longest. I know everything, well, not everything, but a very substantial amount about this line, since I have been playing it for approximately 2 years. And I'm going to use this to demonstrate how the tips and tricks that I'm going to talk about right now. So let's open up the tech tree, and the first thing, if you've never played a single game, or if you're a new or a advanced player, you know that there's going to be 10 tiers of tanks of different mechanized equipment here. You have the tank for tiers 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the weakest, the earliest tanks. So for example, this Leichtraktor, these are tanks that are approximately World War I era, and then you get down here, you start getting between the wars, you get to tier 3s, you're just beginning of World War II, and then you get progressing through the war, towards the end of the war, and then when you get to around 9 and 10, these are the tanks that are just very, very late World War II, maybe even past or post-World War II era tanks. The tanks at the very beginning of this tech tree, regardless of each nation, are a lot weaker. They got weaker guns. They're slower. They are just all around weaker tanks. When you get towards the end, these tanks are a lot heavier. They got better armor. They got angled armor. The guns do more penetration, more damage, so on and so forth. Now, when you play with the lower tiers, these tiers down here, 1 through 4, 5, basically. These tiers are going to cost you less to repair them. The guns that you fire with them, the ammunition is going to cost less, and so on and so forth. When you get on to the higher tiers, 9, 10, these cost more to repair them. It costs more to unlock different guns. It costs more to replace the ammunition after each game. So you can see that there's obvious differences between the two, not only by strength, but by cost of each tank. Now, when you're starting out, the way I suggest that you do this, because you're limited to your overall number of garage slots. That's what these are, garage slots down here. This is how many tanks that you can have. And basically, unless you spend money, you're limited to, I think, 6 or 7. I'm not quite sure for a new account. I have a whole bunch of extras because while I have not bought them, I can buy them with actual US currency or the currency of whatever nation you're part of. You get these for free sometimes. For example, they might give out a special tank, and that's they meaning World of Tanks, when they give out a special tank, they'll probably also have a garage slot that goes along with it. That's why I have a whole bunch of extras from over the past 2 years. I've gotten these for free. Now, moving back into the thing here, so because now you're limited to the overall number of garage slots, you're limited to the amount of credits you earn per game and the amount of experience you earn per tank per game. You have to be pretty smart about the way you do this, especially if you're a new player. When you play the game, you unlock the first tank. Then what you want to do is you want to unlock 2 to 3 so-called lines. A line is like this. So these are all self-propelled guns, SPGs, artillery, whatever you want to call them. You unlock one line. So I had to unlock the GPZ MK6, and I would start working my way down this line. I'd also unlock the Panzerjäger 1 right here. This is a tank destroyer line, and start working down this line. And I would do that for probably 2 to 3 of them. So you'd have 2 to 3 main tanks that you're working on at any one time. Now, as you're playing the game, and this Panzer II, for example, say I'm playing with the Panzer II, I'm getting experience in the tank, I'm unlocking equipment, moving on up, and I'm doing that for the Panzer II and say the Panzerjäger, so working down a scout tank line and a tank destroyer line, I keep unlocking things, keep spending my money on these tanks, unlock the next tank, keep repeating the process, unlock the tank after that, repeat the process until they get to about tier 5. Now, tier 5 is kind of a special moment because tier 5s, and that's kind of this area right here, tier 5 is a special moment because these are the tanks where you can make the most bang for your buck, so to speak. You get the most credits earned per game, and it costs the least to repair your tanks and to replace your ammunition. So basically what you're doing is you're working down two to three lines at one time. As you unlock a new tank, you buy that new tank, you sell the one that that you had previously. So if I'm playing with the Panzerjäger, I unlock the Martyr II, I buy the Martyr II, sell the Panzerjäger, and I use that extra credits to buy ammunition or whatever I need. Now, as I'm playing and I unlock the Martyr 38T, I sell the the Martyr 2, buy the Panzer 38T, continue with my progress, so on and so forth. You keep doing that again until you get to tier 5. Now, at tier 5, you want to keep the tier 5 tank. You don't want to sell it. So say I'm using the Stug 3G, and I unlock the Jagdpanzer 4. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to buy the Jagdpanzer 4 whenever I can afford it, but I'm going to save the Stug 3G. I'm not going to sell this one because, again, this is the area where you get the most bang for your buck. Now, say I'm playing with the Jagdpanzer 4, I unlock the Jagdpanther. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sell the Jagdpanther 4, buy the Jagdpanzer 4, buy the Jagdpanther. Now, this is when you start to become basically at tier 7 and above. It becomes, again, a lot more expensive to run these tanks, a lot more expensive to repair them, to buy modules for them. So let's take a look here. To buy this upgraded gun for the Stug 3, it costs 28,000 credits for that. Now let's take a look at the Jagdpanther. To buy this upgraded gun for the Panther, the L52 here, costs 116,000 to unlock that. So you can see that it's just not only the module is more expensive, but to repair this tank. Say I get destroyed in one game, it costs a lot more money to repair the tank than it would if I was destroyed in the Stug 3G. So you have to be careful. Basically what you're doing is you're keeping these tier 5 tanks, you're running these tier 5 tanks, you're playing with them in order to subsidize your ability to play these higher tier tanks. Now, because you make more money with these tanks, you keep playing with them. Say I'll play a game in the Jagdpanther, right? I'll do decent in it or whatever to unlock experience, to unlock different modules or whatnot. And then after I say I'm playing in the middle of the Jagdpanther game, I die. I'll get right into a game with the Stug 3. I'll play a decent game in that, and I'll use the earnings from the Stug 3 to be able to buy the modules for the Jagdpanther, to be able to afford to upgrade to the Ferdinand, so on and so forth. But you have to keep the tier 5 tanks. These are the most bang for your buck. It's the best deal you can get on this game. Anything before here, you're not going to get very much money. You're not going to get very much money for killing another tank in a tier 1, 2, 3. 4 is kind of iffy. You'll get a decent amount of money around here. And then even tier 6. But tier 5 is the sweet spot for making your money. But then once you get to tier 6 and 7 and 8, once you get destroyed, it costs a lot more money to repair it. So again, that's why tier 5 is the sweet spot. You need to keep these tanks. So, with that being said, the first tip is you want to work down 2 to 3 lines and focus on, whatever those tanks are. The second tip is the tier 5s are the best bang for your buck, so you want to keep those. The third tip is you sell the tanks that you're not going to be keeping anymore. So you're going to sell, you're working down the German TD line, you're going to sell the Panzerjäger, you're going to sell the Martyr 2, you're going to sell the Martyr 38T, you're going to sell the Stug 3B, you're going to keep the Stug 3G, you're going to sell the Jagdpanzer 4, you're going to sell the Jagdpanther. But with a little bit of a caveat there, you're going to sell all those tanks except for the tier 5s and the ones that you enjoy playing. If there's a special tank that you just really have a lot of fun playing it, say you really have a ton of fun playing a Martyr 2, keep that tank. But you don't want to keep every single one of them just to so-called collect, especially if you're a free player. The fourth tip I want to give you is you got to grind. This is a grind no matter what they say, and grinding means it kind of sucks at times. It's going to take a long time, a lot of games to play through the Stug 3G to unlock the Jagdpanzer 4. It's going to take a lot of games with the Jagdpanzer 4 to unlock the Jagdpanther. It's just the way it is. It is a grind. Now, with that being said, there's certain times of the year when you want to grind and when you don't want to grind. Holidays. World of Tanks does a great job of putting special deals for holidays that give you, 2 times the XP on a certain tank during certain holidays. They'll give you extra credits per game on a certain holiday. They'll have different missions for you to do. And missions are up here in the upper left-hand corner. Let's see, where's a good mission for me to let you take a look at? Here's one for you. So this one, so what are the requirements here? Conditions. Here's it is. Join the top 10 players on your team by following parameter experience earned. So if you get the top 10, if you're within the top 10 players on a team by experience earned, when one of these following tanks, you unlock yourself a automatic fire extinguisher. You unlock 2 of them, and you can get one of those within 24 hours. See, these missions are another way to increase your increase the bang for your buck on your playing time and your money and so on and so forth like that. And finally, the 5th tip is to just be frugal. If you don't really need it, don't bother to get it. For the longest time, I did not buy. Let's get out of here. I wasn't putting any repair kits, first aid kits, or fire extinguishers on my tanks because that would cost 2,000 credits. You can't see it. Yeah, here you go. Well, that's a large one. Where's just a regular one? It costs 3,000 credits. Excuse me for that. 3,000 credits for a small first aid kit, 3,000 for a fire extinguisher, and 3,000 for a repair kit. So I wasn't buying these things for the longest time. Once you get to about tier 5 and up, start buying these things. You don't need to buy them for tiers 1 through 4. It doesn't matter if you get destroyed them because it's so cheap. But on 5s and above, you can unlock these and use them in the games to help prolong the life of your tank, help you get more points during the games, and so on and so forth like that. Now, as far as the special equipment that you can put in here, for example, put a enhanced torsion bars, 500,000 credits. This is something you do not need to do for like a tier 5 tank. You don't need to do this. Once you get up to the tiers 7, 8, and above, maybe even 5, I'll even go down to tier 5, then you can start worrying about putting the equipment in there and helping to give yourself a little boost because you're going to be using these tanks longer. When you're playing with a tier 1 tank, you might have 10, 20 games with it. Or not even, I shouldn't use tier 1. Tier 2 or tier 3, you might have 10, 20 games with it, and then you're already on to the next tank. Once you get into tiers 8 and above, or 7, 5, 6, 7 and above, you're going to be with a tank for a long time. It took me roughly 8 to 10 months before I finally got my first tier 7 tank. Now, I wasn't playing every single day, but it still took me nonetheless that much time, and I didn't have a premium account or anything like that. But if you do have a premium account, you can be a little bit more lax with your money. You can afford to buy things right away. You can afford to buy the small repair kits and everything because the game automatically gives you a boost in your income, your boost in your credits earned per game because of the very fact that you are a premium account player. You also get more experience as well. So again, those are my tips for helping you unlock or progress up the tech tree as quickly as possible. Let me go through it one more time. The first one, use 2 to 3 lines per tech tree, 2 to 3 lines per tanks, and focus on those. That way you spend all your time playing on those. Try to move along the quickest. 2, tier 5 is the best bang for your buck. You need to keep the tier 5s. You need to run these things often, play a lot of games with these tanks. If you look for my statistics, the Stug 3 is probably, let's see, let's take a look here. Look at Stug 3, 484 battles. That's the tank I've played the most games with. It's because it's the most cost effective. So keep your tier 5 tanks. The third tip, sell the ones that you don't need. So the tiers 1 through 4 you don't really need. 5, 6, 7, you don't need those. Unlock the next tank, sell the one that was before it. So you get the tier 8, you unlock the tier 9, buy the tier 9, get rid of the tier 8. And then keep the tier 5s, and keep anything else that you have that you really like. The fourth tip, again, grind on the holidays. Use the missions and events to your advantage. Use the special bonuses that they have on the holidays and whatnot to your advantage. And finally, be frugal. Don't spend a whole lot of time, a whole lot of money on these lower tiers. Wait till you get to tier 5 before you start buying equipment, fire extinguishers, and things of that nature. Oh, and a final thing, along with the being frugal thing, you don't need to spend gold or anything like that to upgrade these guys to 100% because you're going to go through it so quickly. Wait till you get to about 5, 6, 7. Then you can start worrying about spending the money or whatnot to get your crew members up to 100%. So I hope that gave you some decent tips and tricks to help you get and unlock the highest tier tanks as quickly as possible. If you have any questions at all about this, go right down below. Let me know in the comments. If you're a long time player and you have any tips or tricks yourself, let me know down in the comments. If I made a mistake in something, let me know down in the comments. This is a very vibrant, good community here. We like to help each other out, and we've got tons and tons and tons of experience, not only by myself, but other viewers watching these videos in World of Tanks. We know a lot about the game. We know all the ins and outs. So if you have a question, let us know. If you have comments or whatever, let us know. We'd be more than happy to help you out. And other than that, please like the video because it helps other people know that this contains some good stuff in it. Please comment just to let me know that I'm on par, or I know what I'm talking about if you think I'm wrong or whatever. And please subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. So then therefore you can get more World of Tanks videos, more World of Tanks tips, tricks, strategies, so on and so forth. All that stuff will help you become a better World of Tanks player. So with that, look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.